Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. On this episode, 3 poems about fathers, and 1 about being a father. Thomas Jardine said, "I went swimming with my 3-year-old boy on a clear night. When I pointed out Venus, he pointed out other stars." Here's his poem, We Swim. We swim, 2 tadpoles in a pool, my cheery year-old boy and I, beneath a twilight purple sky, with Venus a bobbing molecule. He holds my shoulders. "Good boy, good," I say, to buoy him high with praise, and clear my dreary single days with fresh inchoate fatherhood, albeit august, boff, and boyish, a gamey shot one evening took. I point, "Look, way up there, son, look, your first real star for your first wish." Can baby boys see light that far? Uncertain of his giddy glance, I point again. He points askance, up to a smaller, fainter star. We Swim, Thomas Jardine, from Passenger, issue 55. Harriet Stratton wrote a series of verbal descriptions of the life, aging, and passing of her 90-something-year-old parents on their Colorado cattle ranch. Here's one of them. While making fence with my father. I carry the red Hills Brothers coffee can half full of U-shaped fence staples. He picks out 4 at a time to nail each strand of stretched wire to a cedar post. On the tailgate, we eat a sandwich. He uncorks his thermos. I kneel in the sand, sifting dry silk through third-grade fingers. That's how I find the tiny clamshell far from any obvious shore. I raise the fossil to my father's smile. He sweeps his arm across the sandhill prairie. Once this was water. You're sitting on the bed of an ancient sea. Something stirred in me then, a tingling, like a root fluorescing at a depth below time. I think I began to feel how it is to think, as if a camera that had been focused on me backed away, and through the lens, young Dad and me and the blue pickup appeared as an island in the ocean of grass. As my vision receded further into space, I became but a thin grain on a shoreline circumscribing what I knew, surrounded by a waving sea of all that there is unknown. While making fence with my father, Harriet Stratton, from Passenger, issue 69. Marc Swan's father was a hunter. He said, "He taught me how to shoot, break down weapons, clean the parts, heat lead, pour it into the mold to make bullets." Here's Marc Swan's poem, A Life Lesson. On a knoll above a field of goldenrod, a lone woodchuck sits and eats and looks here and there and eats. My father hands me his 30-06 with the 10-power scope. "Now," he says. I lift the rifle to my shoulder, stare through the tiny hole at the small brown blur growing clearer way up on the knoll. "Just ease the trigger," he says. "Don't rush it." I do that, ease the trigger, and touch off the bullet that flies so rapidly the woodchuck never knows it's coming. My father's excited. We run together through goldenrod to the thrashing brown creature gasping in bloody bent grass. My father pulls out his .45 caliber automatic pistol and blasts 1 round into the wobbling head. When I get home, I look at my 12th birthday present, a 12-gauge L.C. Smith double-barreled shotgun. Pick it up and carry it to his gun room. We never talk of that day, or of much of anything. We never have the talk about love, sex, and marriage, though when I marry my first wife, he gives me a copy of The Pearl, a Victorian erotic classic. A Life Lesson, Marc Swan, from Passenger, issue 61. Jeanie Sanders said, "After my dad died, we were cleaning out his house and found his teeth. It was a connection of sorts back to him, and one he would have laughed at himself." Daddy. When he died, we found his teeth, green, moldy in their pink plastic container. We used to look for them everywhere before he got so sick he couldn't wear them at all. One time they were under his pillow, like a late gift from the tooth fairy. He hated wearing those teeth. He bought some new ones, but he didn't like them either. They were cheap and too big for his mouth, and when he smiled, made him look like a horse, baring his teeth before he bit you. Jeanie Sanders' poem, Daddy, from Passenger, issue 62. To subscribe to or learn more about Passenger and its commitment to writers over 50, go to passengerbooks.com. You can download Burning Bright from Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Audible, and a host of other podcast apps. For Kendra, Mary, Christine, Roseanne, the rest of the Passenger staff, and our fathers, wherever they may be, I'm John Shore.